oGsTOP style. From every game we've seen of him so far, he loves to go for a very fast command center. And this map actually favors that, so I wouldn't be surprised if we do see that once again. And then he goes into the, obviously getting the combat shields and with the many barracks with reactors for the Marines.
Yeah, definitely. Really love that opening from top, and it looks like we're going directly into game 2 now. If you'd like oGsTOP to close out this series, give a cheer for oGsTOP.
And make some noise for the comeback French champion, Adelscott.
Here we are on the second game of the first quarterfinal match of the day. We have in the right position oGsTOP as the blue Terran. In the north position, we have Adelscott as the red Ro8.
So going back to what I was saying about oGsTOP, it'll be really cool to see how he plays this out. A lot of Terran players on the European server do like to go for the 1-1-1 build and just try to use Banshees as much as possible because of the short air distance and the fact that it is a very macro-orientated map, and a lot of players do like to use this. Therefore, if you do, or you are able to get Banshees within your opponent's base, you can just do so much damage and just take a clear lead quite simply just by having a couple of Banshees.
Yeah, definitely. Banshees are just such a potent unit on this map, or even just in general. And the big reason is half because of the very short air distances between these bases, but a lot because of how much space there is behind these mineral patches. It's very difficult to cover this area and worry about the front of your base that's also vulnerable at the same time.
We'll have to see what Adelscott has planned for this map, knowing he is 1-0 down, on the verge of going out on the tournament. He has to pull something out against this Korean monster, and we'll have to see how he decides to pull this through. On the other hand, we have seen the refinery going down. I'll be interested to see if he does go for another fast expand build, though. He is sending out a scout quite early, and that was another thing Adelscott didn't do the previous game, is he didn't actually scout until extremely late. And it looks like he will be doing that again, not sending out any early probes at all. On the other hand, oGsTOP is scouting around, making sure, just checking around if there are any proxy pylons, proxy gateways.
Yeah, looks like no second gas guys are down for Adelscott. No reason for it to be down this early, unless your name is OGS Inca and your Dark Templar rushing. But either way, no need for anything too gimmicky on this map, as the distances between ground are very long. Would not be surprised to see Adelscott delay this gas geyser for a very long time in favor of getting an ultra-fast Nexus.
He is getting he is mining gas now. Cybernetics core is out. I'll have to see if he does decide. For the previous game, he did go for the second Vespian geyser quite fast. And there we go. Once again, we are seeing the second Vespian geyser being put down by Adelscott. And it looks like we are going to have a hidden factory almost just on the left-hand side of the main base of the Terran player. Playing around a little bit in terms of mind games. And oh my god, the bird is back.
There's a bird in the tournament area right now. I'm looking at a factory, and a bird is currently playing by the electrical wires. Pray for us and pray for that little bird. If for some reason the stream goes down and you hear me begin crying, it means that there is an electrocuted animal to my right. It looks like, oh, there he is. He's crashing into the audience. And at the same time, an SCV is almost getting picked off. The action is really heating up on the part that you cannot see, which is in the tournament area. There is a real live animal right now.
We're actually getting attacked by a bird. It's like flying past our heads.
This is so awesome. Anyways, let's continue with the game analysis, right? I haven't looked at the screen in quite some time. There's the robotics facility going down for Adelscott. We do see that, wow, Zealot, Stalker, Zealot. That is unusual. Very unusual play. Starport going down now for oGsTOP. Early second refinery could possibly be doing a double Starport play.
And the factory is going to be landed down here. Unfortunately for him, he's going to walk straight into the Robo Bay. We will see it, but on the same hand, that it is scouted, the factory. What is he going to do with his Starport, though? It's kind of an interesting play. He's getting a tech lab on the barracks now, and he's going to have to lift up this factory. Otherwise, actually, he might be able to get a heli now. No, he's just going to lift up and further scout into the base and see exactly what is going on. And this is kind of a risky play, I guess, going for one gateway into Robo.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of players love ultra-fast Robo plays. It's a Warp Prism coming up. Very fast Warp Prism. What a very odd play coming out from Adelscott. I mean, very rarely do you see Warp Prisms gotten in this matchup, especially not this early. And honestly, if you are in oGsTOP's position, you're going to see that and you're going to go, all right, he has a fast Robo. He's going to be getting a fast Observer. But look at this, supply blocks.
No, I noticed that. I was just watching that, and that's actually, you don't see that much from Korean players when they play in these tournaments. They never make small mistakes like this, and this is delaying the Banshee oh so long.
Oh my god, and here comes the Warp Prism drop in the main. What an insane move right now. 2 more gateways coming up, and he almost has the Warp upgrade, and there's the drop in the main. There's only a couple of Marines here, and Adelscott is going to get a lot of free kills picking off these SCVs. He can even pick up and retreat. He's going to try to pick off the Mule. It looks like he will be loading back into that Warp Prism and retreating, but once again, keep in mind that these Warp Gates are very close to finishing. An Observer is out right now, and gosh, that supply block from oGsTOP could just cost him the whole game.
It definitely could. We look at the SCV count to probe. It is now 17 to 29.
Wow.
And this early in the game, that is huge. And once again, the Warp Prism is coming in. Is it going to drop these 2 Stalkers? It could just pick off these 2 Marines and deploy. Is it going to deploy? No, it's not. It is just going to back out. But these Marines are going to die because they don't have Stim. They don't have any Marauders out here to help. And I don't even know where this... The Banshee is going to help clean this out. But at the same time... Oh, no, he doesn't manage to pick that up, actually. I thought he did, but it does lose 1 Stalker.
So Adelscott does have the Warp upgrade done, but has not done anything with it yet. It looks like he is just going to go for a very fast expansion, but the factory's landed there. He cannot do any sort of expand. Adelscott had a good opportunity to just end the game immediately, but instead he's just backing up and warping in units for another redrop.
And here it comes again, 2 Stalkers. I'm going to guess after he couldn't put that Nexus down, the plan failed. He wouldn't be surprised if he does try to get this Warp Prism in, but the Viking is moving around, and the Viking's going to walk in here, and he's going to be able to get a lot of shots onto this Warp Prism. A lot of trouble. Will these Stalkers be able to save it? Yes, it does. The Stalkers do manage to save it.
And it looks like this Expo Orbital Command Center is down now for oGsTOP, but he is in a very awkward position, double bunker at the front. Really doesn't know what his options are, but he is delaying this Expo from Adelscott, so that's going to be his one saving grace. We do see Adelscott is just going straight for the gold expansion. What unusual play by both players on this map.
Wow, wow, wow. And we're going to have to see if he goes to scout this. I mean, this is actually so brave of him to do this, especially against oGsTOP. But to me, it seems that oGsTOP is... It seems he's confused with what he's meant to be doing. He doesn't really have a strong plan, and that supply bot really messed him up, and he's just going all over the place. He's got these double bunkers down, the command center is down. Now he's putting down a couple of barracks. Banshee trying to goes in there to do a couple of kills, but doesn't really manage to get anything down.
I mean, this opening from Adelscott is really going to just be a big mind bend for his opponent, because if you're oGsTOP, you see the really fast Robo and you say, yeah, I guess I'm just not going to get Cloak. And then the Warp Prism comes in and you feel obligated to make a Viking to be able to kill that off. So now you have this useless Viking that's only here just in case another drop happens. So there's suddenly no ability to pressure the opponent at all. And here comes Adelscott just with a standard straight up attack at the front.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll be able to get in too much. These 2 bunkers are about to be done, transferring probes to the gold, and this is just going to give him such a boost in economy. And, well, he just has no idea about this gold, and it doesn't look like he's ever going to find out, really, because he has no map awareness at all, and the Warp Prism is going to be going around the side. If he does manage to get a decent deploy up on the cliff next to his natural, well, next to oGsTOP's natural, he could do a lot of damage to the economy.
And it looks like we do see Adelscott swing around to the south side with this Warp Prism. We haven't taken a look at oGsTOP's base in a little while, and in the meantime, he's just been building a lot of barracks, getting the reactor up, getting a couple of medevacs, trying to reach that point where he can go into big macro mode, but still feeling a lot of discomfort as Adelscott does have this gold base up.
And it looks like Adelscott is going to try and move in here. He's probably going to walk into this knowing, yeah, he does walk into the bunker, going to have to push back. Now he probably knows that the expansion has been taken by oGsTOP. And Adelscott's in a world of comfort right now. He can take a third quite easily and get away with that also.
Yeah. I mean, he has units positioned at all angles. There's the Banshee running into the main right now. It looks like it will get the opportunity to get some kills off. No, Adelscott already has some units. Adelscott playing very well, very calm, looking at the mini-map. Adelscott seems to play better the more pressure he's under.
And I think that oGsTOP knows that he's taken the gold, or at least another expo, because the Banshee is going past this natural and sees that there isn't a base there. So he must know something is going on. There has to be a hidden expo somewhere, so he must presume that. And the Banshee is going to move around, and it is going to go to the back of the base. He's going to go past this pylon, seeing this third base in the middle of the map, not seeing an expo again, and now he knows that the gold has to be taken.
So, it looks like he's heading straight onto the gold expansion. Very little for oGsTOP. It looks like he's salvaging all the bunkers. Oh my goodness, and breaking down these destructible rocks for Adelscott could turn out to be a big mistake. There's the Banshee now doing a bunch of damage to these probes at the south side, but here's the Warp Prism. Looks like it's gearing up to do a little bit of damage at the back. Oh gosh, there's so many different points of interest right now, and it looks like Adelscott is trying to close in around this Banshee. The Banshee looks like it's going to try to move it to the high ground, and it looks like it's managed to escape.
And I think if Adelscott moves in here with all his forces, he's got 2 large forces, and if he puts down the warp prism in the main base as well and starts warping in units at the back of the base, he can just completely surround oGsTOP and take quite a comfortable win. And it looks like he is getting ready to do this, but this force from the Protoss player is so large, there just are not enough units for oGsTOP.
And here is the big warp prism play in the back. He is currently in phasing and is not doing anything. Oh no, does he not have the ability to make any units? No, it looks like he has no ability to make anything yet. No, he's waiting for the double play. He's hitting both sides with a ton of Stalkers. Big concave from Adelscott trying to reposition as a few Guardian shields going down. And at the same time, nothing's getting warped in on the backside. And it looks like the Stalkers are falling. But no, there's too many Stalkers. Adelscott's macro has just been too strong this whole game. And there's the Zealots in the main. Adelscott, amazing tactics.
And he looks like he will be able to take this down. A lot of SCVs. SCVs are now engaging the Zealots in the main. Stalkers coming up the ramp, and this looks like it will be cleaned up for Adelscott, and he wants to take this into the 3rd game. And wow, another mistake from oGsTOP. We're just losing so many units, and this looks like it is going to be the end of oGsTOP.
Big warp in again on Scrap Station. There's the good game. Adelscott tying up the series with amazing play in that last game.
That supply block at the start of the game, as you called it, just completely killed oGsTOP from start to finish. He lost because he lost so many SCVs. It was like a 20 SCV to probe difference in the first 5 to 7 minutes, and that is huge. And from there on, he just couldn't get back into the game. Adelscott took the gold, powered away, and took down the Korean monster.
And you know what was so impressive to me at the end of the game is that Adelscott moved in with just gateway units. Pretty much only Stalkers, a handful of Zealots and Sentries, and 1 Immortal against the point defense drone, all the Stim Marauders, Medevacs at the front, and just had too much stuff. I mean, the fact that there was all the Zealots warping into the mineral line at the very end of the game almost didn't even matter. It's that macro that helped him so much in that final fight.
And I was looking at his supply count, actually, when he deployed the warp prism into